It seemed that years of living together held some significance, but one phrase shattered all illusions. The mother-in-law arrived for a visit once more, and her presence once again transformed into a trial. When the question was posed, "And where is your pension?" "Sent to your daughter again, so you live with her." What did they forget in our apartment? The woman understood it was time to dot all the I's. Her husband immediately burst into the kitchen and shouted, "Hello, dear listeners. I'm delighted to welcome you to my channel. I present to you a new interesting story. Enjoy listening." Marina first saw her husband's apartment the day they returned from the registry office. A 3-room unit on the outskirts, a panel building from the 90s. Nothing special. Sergei had warned her that his mother would live with them, but Marina didn't see a problem with that. Her own mother had always been kind and cheerful, and Marina naively assumed that all mothers were more or less the same. Lydia Fyodorovna met them in the hallway, arms crossed. She was short, stout with a short perm and a displeased expression. She eyed Marina from head to toe, as if appraising goods at a market, and nodded to her son. "Come in, reheat dinner yourselves." That was the first warning sign. Marina worked as an administrator at a dental clinic, earning $45,000. Sergei worked at a factory. His salary was slightly higher, $58,000. Lydia Fyodorovna received a pension of $19,000, and from the very first month, Marina noticed something strange. Her mother-in-law never offered to chip in for groceries. "I'm a pensioner," she'd say with an offended air, quote 4. Marina didn't argue. She bought groceries, cooked, and cleaned. Sergei rarely helped, citing fatigue after his shift. Lydia Fyodorovna spent most of the day watching television or visiting friends for tea. Sometimes Marina would catch her on the phone in the kitchen, and her mother-in-law would hastily end the call, pursing her lips disapprovingly. "It's personal," she'd snap. The first conflict occurred after 3 months. Marina entered her mother-in-law's room for a forgotten book and accidentally saw an envelope on the table, thick and clearly stuffed with bills. Lydia Fyodorovna immediately snatched it up and shoved it into a drawer. "What, you walk in without knocking?" she hissed. "I'm sorry, I thought you were in the kitchen. Learn to knock, this is my room." Marina remained silent, but the incident left a bad taste. That evening, she carefully asked her husband, "Seryozha, does your mother give money to anyone? I saw an envelope with her." "Mind your own business," he grumbled, not looking up from his phone. "My mother is an adult. She'll sort it out herself." "It's just strange. She says she has no money and we spend $25,000 a month on groceries. Just us. So what? She's a pensioner. We have to take care of her." Marina bit her lip. She didn't want to argue, and it only got worse. Lydia Fyodorovna began to make barbed remarks. The refrigerator wasn't washed properly, the soup was too salty, or Marina got up too loudly in the morning and woke her. Yet her mother-in-law herself would blast the television at full volume at 7 in the evening when Marina was trying to relax after work. "This is my home," Lydia Fyodorovna declared. "I grew up here. I raised Seryozha. And who are you?" Marina remained silent, enduring it. Sergei always sided with his mother. "Don't pay attention. She's got a character," he'd say. Quote 15. But Lydia Fyodorovna didn't get used to it. On the contrary, as if sensing impunity, she grew bolder with each passing day. One day, Marina accidentally overheard her mother-in-law's phone conversation. Lydia Fyodorovna was sitting on the balcony, unaware that the door was ajar. Quote 16, she was saying. Quote 17. Marina turned cold. So the pension goes to the daughter while she and her husband are being used as free help and sponsors. That evening, she tried to talk to Sergei. He brushed her off. Quote 18. Quote 19. His voice was cold, and Marina understood he saw no problem. For him, this was normal, and she continued to work, cook, and clean. Lydia Fyodorovna flourished. She bought herself a new phone for $35,000, then an expensive fur coat. When asked where the money came from, she replied, quote 20. And Marina counted every penny, saving for a new winter jacket. Her old one was on its third season. The zipper stuck. The lining was worn through. Katya, Lydia Fyodorovna's daughter, arrived in November. A tall, dyed blonde with acrylic nails and a displeased expression. From the doorway, she declared, "What a dump you have here. I'd forgotten what it's like to live in such boxes." Katya worked in Moscow as a sales manager, rented a studio for $40,000, and constantly complained about life. Yet, she wore branded clothing and went to restaurants every weekend, judging by her social media. "Mommy, you understand, it's so hard for me," she whined. "Prices in Moscow are astronomical. It's good that you help at least a little." Marina clenched her teeth. A little. That was $15,000 to $20,000 every month. The week with Katya turned into hell. She constantly demanded attention, was capricious, and left things lying around. Lydia Fyodorovna fussed over her daughter, cooked her favorite dishes, and nagged Marina. "You should help too. See, we have a guest." The guest lay on the sofa, flipping through her phone and eating candies that Marina had bought for herself at work. On the last day before her departure, Katya and Lydia Fyodorovna had a celebratory dinner. Marina cooked as usual. Her mother-in-law placed a cake costing 800 rubles on the table. She bought it herself, which was extremely rare. "To my daughter," she proclaimed, raising a glass. "To having you." Katya was touched, and they hugged. Sergei also raised his glass. Marina wasn't even mentioned. After Katya's departure, Lydia Fyodorovna became even more unbearable. She seemed angered that her daughter had left and took it out on Marina. "Why isn't the soup the way I like it? Why didn't you iron my blouse? You deliberately walk so loudly to annoy me." Marina remained silent, accumulating resentment, fatigue, and anger within her. Sergei continued to ignore the situation, brushing it off. "Don't pay attention, she's old." In December, Marina found out she was pregnant and ran to her husband, overjoyed. He hugged her and kissed her. "That's good. Mother will be happy." Lydia Fyodorovna was not happy. She frowned. "A child? All right. Just don't expect me to sit with him. I've done my time." "Mom, what are you talking about?" Sergei asked, surprised. "It's your grandson or granddaughter," Marina corrected quietly. "Doesn't matter. I'm not hired as a nanny. I have my own life." Marina realized then that there would be no help, but only more demands. And so it happened. Her belly grew, and Marina felt heavier, while Lydia Fyodorovna continued to demand that she cook, clean, and run errands. Sergei would come home from work tired and immediately collapse on the sofa. "I'm slaving away at the factory," he'd justify himself. Quote 35, Marina grew tired of arguing. She simply did everything that was required of her and dreamed of the day when something would finally change. In early January, another scandalous scene unfolded. Lydia Fyodorovna was sitting in the kitchen, drinking tea with expensive cookies that Marina certainly hadn't bought. Marina entered, starting to unpack groceries. "You bought pasta again," her mother-in-law grimaced. "I told you, it gives me stomach aches." "Lydia Fyodorovna, this pasta is for Sergei and me. I bought you buckwheat. You like it." "Don't tell me what I like." Marina exhaled, remained silent, and began putting the groceries away. Lydia Fyodorovna continued to drink her tea, sipping noisily. Then she suddenly asked, "And where is your salary?" Marina turned. "What?" "I'm asking, where is your salary? You work, you get money." "I do, but what does that have to do with anything?" "Because you're a freeloader here," Lydia Fyodorovna stated curtly. "You don't contribute anything to the household." Something inside Marina snapped. She slowly straightened up. "Excuse me, what do you mean? Don't contribute anything?" "Sergei buys the groceries. He also pays for utilities. And where do you put your money?" Marina felt a cold flame ignite within her. She smirked. "Lydia Fyodorovna, and where is your pension? Sent to your daughter again." Her mother-in-law's face contorted. Seryozha, come here immediately." "What happened?" "She, your wife, is being rude to me." "I'm not being rude," Marina said calmly. I'm simply asking a question. On what grounds are you criticizing me when you yourself contribute nothing to the household budget? Don't you dare reproach my mother, Sergei shouted. This is her apartment. She has the right to live here. And you are nobody here. Marina looked at him, at his red face, his clenched fists, his contemptuous gaze, and smiled quietly, almost inaudibly. What are you smirking at? He snarled. Marina took out her phone, opened a screenshot, and showed him the screen. Here, read this. Sergei snatched the phone, skimmed the text, and turned pale. Lydia Fyodorovna approached, peering over his shoulder. What is this? She whispered. An extract from the Unified State Register of Real Estate, Marina said calmly. This apartment now belongs to me. A dead silence fell. Only the refrigerator hummed in the corner. How is this possible? Sergei mumbled. Very simple. 3 months ago, your mother asked me to help with some documents. She said it was necessary to draw up a deed of gift to you so that Katya wouldn't have any claim on the apartment in the future. Do you remember, Lydia Fyodorovna? We went to the notary. You signed the deed of gift without really reading it, but I read everything carefully and saw that the apartment was being transferred not to Sergei but to me. Quote 65. How? How could you dare? Quote 66, I didn't do anything. You both signed everything yourselves, voluntarily, before the notary. Marina spoke in an even, almost gentle voice. And now the owner of the apartment is me. And you, Lydia Fyodorovna, are just living here by my good grace. You bitch, her mother-in-law screamed. You deceived me. I didn't deceive anyone. You signed the contract yourselves without reading it. You should have been more careful. You'll return the apartment immediately or else. Marina didn't even flinch. Will you hit your pregnant wife? Try it and I'll call the police right away. I'll sue. This is fraud. Sue. All the documents are legally processed. The notary certified it. The Unified State Register registered the ownership. The apartment is mine. Lydia Fyodorovna collapsed onto a chair, covering her face with her hands. Sergei darted around the kitchen, not knowing what to do. But Mother, what about Mother now? He muttered. Nothing. Let her live, Marina said. Only now under new conditions. You will pay for your stay. Each of you. 10,000 per month. That's for the room. Plus utilities, split in half. Plus you buy your own groceries. I'll buy mine. Have you lost your mind? Sergei roared. What rent? This is my mother. This is my apartment now, Marina corrected. And if you don't like it, leave. Where is Sergei? He went to a friend's, she mumbled. Said he'd think about it. Quote, 84. All right, let him think. Quote, 85. I didn't want to. I just wanted you to support yourselves, and you helped your daughter during that time. I understand. I only have her left after the divorce. Her mother-in-law's voice trembled. Serezha was always independent. And Katya, she's so sensitive, she needs help. You should have told us honestly instead of using us. What happens now? I don't know, Marina answered honestly. It depends on you. Sergei returned 3 days later. He came in sullen and rumpled. Marina was sitting in the room reading a book. He entered, sat on the edge of the bed. I've been thinking I can't abandon my mother. She's my mother, but you are too. You're my wife. You're pregnant. Uh-huh. Let's reach some kind of agreement. His voice was tired and pleading. I can't pay 10,000. I don't have that kind of money. You do. You just used to spend it on your mother and her whims before. Marina, I'm pregnant, Serezh. I need money for doctors, for tests, for baby clothes. I can't do it all alone anymore. He was silent, looking at the floor. Okay, he finally said. I agree. I'll pay. And Mother will too. Where will she get the money? I'll talk to Katya. Let her send Mother less, and the rest Mother can give to you. Marina smirked. We'll see. Next month, the full 10. Couldn't you at least wash the floors? I'm old. It's hard for me. Hire a cleaning lady, Marina replied. With the money you send to Katya, you can afford one. Her mother-in-law shut her mouth and went to her room. Gradually, their relationship became politely cold. They greeted each other, exchanged a few words occasionally, but nothing more. Sergei was torn between his wife and mother, trying to smooth things over, but mostly remained silent. Katya called her mother less often. Once, Marina overheard their conversation. "Mom, what do you want? I have a loan. I have rent. I can't send you any more. But my dear, that's enough. I'm tired. Let your precious son support you. Forgive me, I'm an old fool." Marina remained silent. Sergei tried to be better, helped with the baby, got up at night, changed diapers. Marina saw his efforts, but something within her had broken. She no longer loved him. She simply lived beside him, raising their daughter, working. Lydia Fyodorovna faithfully paid $5,000. She couldn't gather more. Marina didn't insist. Her mother-in-law stopped being capricious, sometimes even helped with her granddaughter when Marina asked. A year later, Katya visited again. Older, tired. Loans, rent, and constant lack of money had taken their toll. She tried to complain once. Marina coldly offered to rent a hotel. Katya fell silent and behaved quietly all week. On the third day, she sat with Marina in the kitchen, fiddling with her cup. "You're strong. I couldn't have done that." "You could have. You just would have had to. Mom says you tricked her with the apartment." "I didn't trick her. She signed it herself. Maybe it's for the best. Otherwise, she would have definitely willed everything to me, and I would have sold it, and Serega would have gotten nothing. Now Serega gets nothing, but you and Sophia do." Marina smirked and finished her tea. Katya left, no longer begging her mother for money. Lydia Fyodorovna seemed to wilt, but became calmer, stopped being spiteful, and sometimes even smiled at her granddaughter. One evening, when Sophia turned 2, Marina was sitting in the kitchen. Lydia Fyodorovna came out, sat opposite her, and they were silent for a while. Then her mother-in-law said softly, "Thank you." "For what?" "For not kicking me out. You could have, right?" Marina shrugged. "I could have. Why didn't I?" "I don't know. Maybe because I didn't want to become the same kind of bitter person. You're a good person. I just didn't see it right away." Marina didn't reply, finished her tea, and went into the room where her daughter was sleeping. She sat beside the crib, looking at the tiny face. Sophia was snoring softly, her nose buried in a stuffed rabbit. Her apartment? Her daughter? Her life? Finally,